Remember back a couple years ago when Whiplash won 3 Oscars? Well, Sunday night's 90th Annual Academy Awards telecast was the Whiplash IEST telecast since then. It probably should have been clear from host Jimmy Kimmel's often amusing, but thoroughly all-over-the-map opening monologue that this was going to attempt to be an all-things-for-all-people night for the Academy. Over roughly 220 minutes, it was a show that featured hilarious moments that could have gone on for twice as long and extended dead-air comic bits that should have been cut in dress rehearsal. It was a show in which nearly every winner had been exhaustively preordained by the endless award season, but one in which first-time and long-overdue winners still brought the crowd to its feet. It was a show of empowering and emotional speeches and inspirational recipients, often back-to-back with figures whose embrace went against everything the show's politics seemed to stand for. Speaking of politics, it was a show of clearly progressive ideals that were delivered in largely nonpartisan ways but will still piss off right-wing commentators who will probably accuse the Academy of pandering for the few attempts the show made to build bridges. And, perhaps most of all, it was a show that proved conclusively that from the biggest stars in the world to the most relatively anonymous of below-the-line talent, from the craftsmen on films with $100 million-plus budgets to the auteurs of shorts financed by their mother's bake sales, people in Hollywood would rather spend 90 seconds thanking their agents and loved ones than win a jet ski. Just 2 years after Chris Rock hosted an Oscars ceremony characterized by the embarrassment of the From Guillermo del Toro to Jordan Peele, the most common refrain among winners was about persistence and representation. As del Toro put it, the greatest thing our art does and our industry does is to erase the lines in the sand. We should continue doing that when the world tells us to make them deeper. The broadcast's defining moment is likely to be Frances McDormand's acceptance for Best Actress, one of many wins that nearly everybody got correct in their respective Oscar pools. The unpredictable McDormand, who could just as easily have gotten to the mic and said, "I want a fucking jet ski," and left the stage, urged all of the female nominees to their feet, using Meryl Streep for peer pressure. "Look around, everybody," McDormand yelled with that unique manic deadpan of hers. "We all have stories to tell and projects we need financed," she cheered as the crowd roared, before finishing her speech with 2 words that sent Twitter rushing to either Google or their nearest contract lawyer, inclusion writer. Suddenly we were forced to extend the same amateur expertise to contract law that we exerted on curling just 2 weeks ago. Thanks, Frances. Maybe McDormand didn't entirely usurp the emotional grouping of Annabella Shora, Salma Hayek and Ashley Judd, who introduced a powerful montage focusing on diversity, inclusivity and the importance of making your voice heard. It was the best montage in a night heavy on montages, which accompanied all 4 major acting awards, as well as several other key intervals in the show. For some balance, there was even a montage dedicated to the cinematic representation of the military, introduced by Vietnam War veteran and actor Wes Studi, one of several presenters who might not have gotten their moment on stage in different years, including Danielle Vega, the star of Best Foreign Film Oscar winner A Fantastic Woman. As part of this round-number anniversary, the Academy welcomed acting legends like Eva Marie Street, Rita Moreno, Jane Fonda and Helen Mirren. Casey Affleck's decision not to make a traditional presenting return let the Academy bring in Jodie Foster and Jennifer Lawrence. And no, it was not a coincidence that there were a lot of grand dames in the spotlight. There was a point being made and made repeatedly and awesomely. But then there was the awkward block of animation winners. First Kobe Bryant won, forcing some internal monologues on long-past events from Colorado and Twitter meditations on those for whom time's up applies and those who get to slip through. Bryant's enthusiastic repudiation of Laura Ingraham should have been a moment for celebration, but my only reaction was, "Nah, Kobe. Don't make me think about you too much." Then Coco won, and although the movie is as upstanding and right-minded as can be, each time it wins an award and its directors have to mumble through acknowledging Pixar executives without saying John Lasseter's name is nothing if not uncomfortable. Those moments, and whatever stock you put in dark allegations from Gary Oldman's past, needn't get in the way of the night's many showcase wins. You had the rare back-to-back standing ovations for screenplay winners Peele and James Ivory, somehow the latter's first Oscar win at the record-breaking age of 89. You also had Roger Deakins breaking through with his first Oscar win after what has been otherwise a career of ample honor and decoration. The whiplash extended to the musical performances as well. Remember Me from Coco won the Oscar, and good for them, but that performance, starting with an intentionally tentative Gael Garcia Bernal, but transitioning into a less intentionally tentative but no more in tune Miguel, surrounded by neon skulls, was rough. Common and Andra Day and 10 onstage activists appropriately urging the audience to stand for something at the end of Stand Up for Something, played as good crowd interaction, while the Keela Settle vocal of This Is Me, from The Greatest Showman went from fantastic to frantic when the ensemble poured down the steps. My favorite of the musical numbers was Mary J. Blige's strong rendition of Mighty River, from Mudbound. I don't even think it's so great as a song, but Blige is great.